estate agents, welcome to the Weekly Closer. I'm your host, Jeff Underwood, along with my co-host, Joey Sampaga, better known as the man with the plan. You got a plan today?
I do. An excellent plan.
Good, because we got a big name in the house.
Yes, we do.
Absolutely. Hey, we got with us today Bobby Lieb with Home Smart Realty. Welcome back, Bobby.
Thanks for having me, guys.
On the show.
So. It is. Is that good?
That is good. Yeah.
So, right.
Yeah, that's really good.
I would have brought lunch if I'd have known if it would give me back a third time, but we'll see. Hopefully I don't screw up.
We will call you and tell you what we want to order.
You got it.
Absolutely. Now, before the show, we were talking a little bit about behavioral issues.
Yes.
And let's make sure it's not me.
No.
Yeah, correct. That's true.
So you had an issue with one of your dogs?
I do. It's funny. I have two boxers that they're actually half boxers, and because we saw Mama had 11 pups, and we got one that's half Dobie and one that's 25% Hound, and we did a blood test. If nobody's ever done that before, it's a trip to send away for the blood test to find out. And I was probably more excited to find out what my dogs really were than my kids, but no, it was pretty cool. So anyway,
I didn't know they did. Well, they pretty much do it every day.
They do, yeah. For money, for $100, you find out what your dog is. So, one of my dogs is a little bit aggressive, and those people that have dogs is probably 90% of your viewers and listeners.
Yeah.
Part of the deal is when you have trainers, because we're on our third dog trainer now. I think it may have something to do with us, but we don't spend enough time, with them. So somebody suggested to me to send them. They have like a boot camp over off of Cave Creek and Tatum. That all these old horse properties that were the people way back when all had horses back in the Raha days in Arizona. They now all convert them to dog places, and they're like 17 acres, and they board 40 dogs at a time, and they literally, it's really a trip, because I went in there, I'm going, oh, this is going to be a waste of time, but it's very well organized. They have, it's just all about discipline, and so they do it for 3 weeks, and they actually take them, which I thought was kind of humorous. They take them to the mall for trips to interact with people.
Wow.
So they, but they really, they have the command. So, but the thing that I had to laugh is, so the second week they have my wife and I coming back to learn the new commands and to learn how to interact with our kids. So they've been away for 2 weeks. And then the third week, when we pick them up, they have us come back a second time to learn, and hopefully we'll be able to remember that. But everybody that I've known that actually had dog issues, because a lot of us, especially in our business, aren't always there with them all the time. Some people said we were going to give our dogs away because we just couldn't control them. So I think it's going to be fun. The interesting thing is, being an empty nester, it's just going to be my wife and I at the house without the dogs.
What are you going to do now?
What are we going to do? Yeah. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm more worried about that than I am the dogs being gone for 3 weeks. But no, we're kind of looking forward to it, and just because we don't know what we're doing with dogs. I mean, we're not. Anyway, so that's kind of that's it. That's all I have to talk about today. So
there we go.
Well, we definitely need to have you back to talk about that after their training.
I'll let you know. Yeah, well, hopefully they may say they survived and we survived. So we'll let you know.
That'll be awesome.
So train the dog, then train the owner.
Probably the same time. I think it's got to be done at the same time, so you learn what the commands are. And these guys take it serious, and it's not cheap. But I tell you what, it's we want to keep our dogs, and I don't know what we're doing. So anyway,
there we go. There we go. No, thanks for sharing that.
You're welcome.
So why don't we also go ahead and tell the audience how long you've been in real estate and what got you into business in the beginning?
So I've been a realtor now for 27 years. I did commercial real estate for a couple of years, but my background, when I came out to Arizona, my dad had a nightclub back in the 70s called the Jockey Club over on Highland 22nd Street. We had that club for about 8 years, sold that. And that whole property at 22nd Highland used to be owned by Milky Way candy bar people, and across the street was a golf course. So I did that for about 8 years, and then we opened up a second club at Central and Camelback. And 1 year into that, we turned 30, had our first kid, and I go, you know what, I hate these. The business is great when you're in your 20s because you can party, have fun, but when you turn 30, you have a kid, you got I got to grow up here. And so Mark Moskowitz was the top realtor in the Valley, and actually Mark also was the first realtor to have a team concept and said, look, everybody in the Valley, I'd love to be your mentor. And with Mark, there was another guy there, Ryan Gilbert, who to this day is the most phenomenal individual. He's with Launch Realty now. But the two of them just were great mentors for me, and that's why I tell people I do a class every other month, CE class, and most of it's marketing and agency law. Is having a mentor was just so important because I was a nightclub slug. I mean, I knew a lot of people, great, but how can you sell a house? But when you line up with somebody who's the best, he was just phenomenal. So he got me involved in it, and I learned a lot from him, absorbed it, and then after 5 years, I felt, which is a pretty long time, but I felt like since this is a career business, I was hoping to be, still do, if my dogs don't hurt me. I just felt like, having a mentor, and I watched people today that get a real estate school and they think, okay, I've learned all about, I have to do about real estate. I'm going, guys, that stuff that you learn in real estate school is to pass the test. It's real life experiences that help. And so to me, the mentor thing was incredible. And I do that now with people. When I do my class, I'll tell people, here's where I got sued. Here's some of the marketing stuff that failed for me. Here's what works for me. And they go, why are you being honest? I go, because I feel like I need to share it with you. Mm-hmm. And, everybody says everything is easy. Some mentors will never tell you the failures. But I think it's so important that you need to know, you learn from successes by failing. And there's a lot of things that I got in trouble for. Not bad, but I just, sometimes you don't always think things out. And so having the mentor really saved me. Now I also have an assistant with me for 20 years, and she came from Realty Executives when I was there now with HomeSmart, and amazingly, I haven't been in trouble in 20 years because of her. I mean, because it's just I'm not a paperwork guy. I can sell, but the mentor thing is so important. I can't tell people enough that get a mentor, get a real estate school. Don't just do it for 2 months, because I know some people will get their license and their first sale will be to grandma, grandpa. They make 25 grand. Goes as easy, and they don't make their sale for 2 more years. But that's
after that first one, they realize that everybody knows 12 agents.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But it's just it's everybody thinks it's a get rich quick business, and it's not. It's if you want to make a long term deal, you're going to have your failures, and just know that it takes a little while to be successful out there.
So I'm curious then, since you teach that class, what is like the number one worst marketing thing that you've done?
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I think the one thing that I did
not about getting in trouble.
No. I wouldn't. Yeah. So I think one idea I had was I hired a PR company, and I specialize in North Central. And there's a real good buddy of mine, Robert Joffe, who's a phenomenal agent over at Launch, and Robert is the Arcadia guru, and he's spread out into Paradise Valley. So I thought, what, living in North Central, the Biltmore is only like 2 miles away. I can be the same strong person there as I am in North Central. And so I hired a PR person to kind of get my name out in there. And and she was great, but it was kind of the same thing I tell people that are trying to capture North Central, which took me a long time to be established in there and the top person there. I thought I can do this in the Biltmore. My male ego took over, and after 9 months and like $25,000, I realized that you can't take over an area that has established agents, been there for 30 years. You maybe get a little piece of the pie, but I thought this is snap my fingers and get rich quick. And it's funny what the PR person does. Again, I had a great PR person. I won't give you the person's name. It doesn't really matter, but. They get you on. They said, we're going to get you on TV. We're going to get you on the news. So sometimes they would call me up like at 4:30 in the morning and say, we're getting you on the news at 5 a.m. Going, who the hell's listening to watching TV at 5? Unless first you're getting your kids ready for school, or you're hungover, you didn't get any sleep the night before. But so and usually the topics they tell me to talk about, I didn't know about. So I would call like mortgage guys, go, I'm getting ready to go on the air live in 15 minutes. Can you give me like a quick and it's funny that I would do the shows and sigh of relief because I did okay on them, but nobody watched. Nobody would say, but the PR company would say, okay, that value is $5,000, and so they say we're giving you a return, and I'm going, no, you're not, because nobody saw it. But I think that was probably the most expensive mistake. I do a lot of postcards I mail out. I do a lot of flyers. So I think that probably was a bit. But there's a lot of things you trial and error. But it's hard to take over an area right off the bat for somebody that's been established for a long time, and that's why people, little by little, impatience, which is not something I have a lot of, but you have to get it a little bit.
So in 2019, what are you doing in the area, the North Central that you?
You know what? It's funny. I've always specialized in. I sell about 115 homes a year, and 90% of what I sell has always been listings. But listings are hard, a little bit harder now. I mean, I'm still lucky. I've listed about 80 homes this year, 90 homes, but sellers are afraid right now to buy because they have nowhere to go to. So in that particular instance, you have to kind of reinvent the wheel. Like as I said earlier before we started, on January 1st, I'm always like, okay, when my wife is sleeping and I'm not hungover, I'm at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm going, what am I going to do? I'm starting off at 0 sales and 0 commissions. I got to reinvent, do something different because I got to get a hold of my old contacts, whatever it may be. But I find out that you got to be a little creative because a lot of us don't like contingencies, but sometimes you have to do that now because if you want a particular listing and they want to buy a house they haven't sold their house, really what I'm finding out, if I know another agent that's been around for a long time and we communicate with each other, we get deals done. And to me, even though a lot of us are competitors in the industry, it helps to know and have rapport with these other agents. And it's funny because when you're a listing agent, you find out that somebody comes with a contingent offer, they want to beat the crap out of you on your price, but yet when they list their house as a contingency, they have it really high. So my comment to the other agent, I say, look, if you're going to get my listing price for this, you've got to be realistic and don't let it drag out. So I think really having communication with other agents, even though they may be competitors, you work together with people. You find out at the end of the day, you get deals done that way. So I think that's that, and I'm really going after. The funny thing is, I'm now kind of switching gears a little bit, going after buyers because in my area, I'm advertising, and now I'm saying I'm a buyer expert. But you do what you got to do, and it's working. So I've sold already close to 98 homes this year.
Wow.
And it's
That's
kind
great.
of more of a mix of the buyers too now. But so I don't. Usually when I used to do my class, I'd say I really don't like buyers or refer them out because I used to have like 40 something listings at one time, and that's time consuming. But now it's like I'm doing both. So you got to just kind of you can't. That's why I always tell people when you advertise, don't categorize yourself as a luxury agent. Don't categorize yourself as a high rise. Just say an agent, because if I said I'm only a listing agent, buyers wouldn't work with me. So I just say I'm a realtor and try to kind of find a level ground there.
Sure. And I bet so when agents hear the volume, right, the number of transactions you have or homes that you're selling, and then they find out that it's mostly you and Kathy, right?
It's all me. Yeah. Well, Kathy's my sister. Yeah, they don't believe me. Yeah.
Yeah. Because
it's hard to believe.
It is hard to believe. But
are you calling me a liar too?
No.
No. I mean, it's amazing.
I see all your signs around, so I believe you.
You know what? I don't sleep. My dogs get me up early, but you know what? I'm fortunate. I love what I do, and I mean, I still play golf a couple times a week, and I go to the gym early in the morning. But it's funny because one thing, and I'm not going to knock because my son's turning 30 on 9/11 and my daughter's 28. I find a lot of, I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of the people that are a little younger don't want to work weekends and don't want to work. And I don't say there's some really, really great agents that we have in our industry, but I find it, I love it. They don't want to because it makes more business for me.
There you go.
So I think, if you want to be successful in this thing, and especially as a listing agent, predominantly, which I am, but I'm doing buyers now too, you've got to be available. You're at the mercy of your clients almost 7 days a week, 24 hours a day sometimes. And people go, well, I want to have a life. I go, if you're a listing agent, you don't have a life. I mean, because those people want to move, and they're hiring you because you're supposed to be marketing and doing it. And I find out, again, kind of a trivial thing when I do in my class, people don't want to answer their phones. And I go as a listing agent, even buyer's agent. I mean, I've gotten more listings and more potential buyers. They're shocked. They go, we called 5 agents and nobody answered the phone, and you do. And I go, and a lot of the calls, so if you're dealing with particular clients, buyers or sellers, they're not always pleasant calls, but if you answer the phone, at least you diffuse, the argument then. But but simply answering the phone sometimes gets you business, and some people are afraid because it's interfering with whatever they're doing. And I go, good, I'll answer it, and I'll get the listing you could have gotten. So that's all. That's
What percentage of your business do you think is still in that North Central area?
I'd say probably about 85%. I mean, I'm actually, when I first started with Mark and Ronnie, they specialized in Paradise Valley, and I knew that wasn't quite my comfort level at the time, so I started going where I said I live in North Central, my kids in school, and coaching all the kids. But I'm starting to do more in Paradise Valley now too. I got a buddy of mine that we co-list stuff together, especially if it's a home that's a really big house. So having a co-lister with our company in Paradise Valley, I'm able to spread out there. And I feel like we've sold about 10 homes already in PV. Certainly not, I'm not a PV specialist, but I sold, people say they sell one, they're a specialist, so I guess I'm whatever it is, you can determine it yourself. But I try, and then I think I mentioned last time, I do about 20, well, I used to do probably about 10 to 15 divorces a year as a special master. The courts hire, and when they hire you for those are everywhere. Those are in the East Valley, West Valley, and people again will laugh at me going, do you even know there's an East Valley? I go, yeah, man, I got GPS, so I'll go anywhere for a listing. You do what you got to do. So
yeah, that's right. You mentioned the, you kind of mentioned the market, right? Going from mostly listings to now also working buyers.
Right.
What do you think of today's market? I mean, where do you think things are going, or?
I think first of all, I enjoy seeing the prices going up in some instances. I mean, I think the one phase that I always get a little concerned about are the flippers. I mean, you don't see as many as you were seeing before. Some of these guys do a phenomenal job. I mean, they really do, but a lot of them don't, and a lot of them aren't using licensed contract. You go in a house, you go, oh my God, it's beautiful. And everything is, you write a contract and you do an inspection, and they didn't ever do a sewer test. I'm concerned about those, but I think overall, I like what I see. I mean, I think, I know you have the iBuyers that are out there, and you have all these discount companies. And one thing that I will tell you, it's pretty cool. I know you've had Russell Shaw on your show, and I mentioned to Russell before, I'll never be on another panel with him, because with Russell only one person speaks, and it wasn't me. But I love him to death. But him and I've talked about it, is that there's always, even way back when I first started, which is like 27 years ago, and Russell's been doing a bit longer than me, you had Costco used to be Price Club many years ago. People don't remember that. Price Club had their own realtor, and they had a guy that was tied in with Costco, or actually at the time was Price Club. And they would do it for like 1%. And all those guys that do them for discounts, they're just, you can't make it. I mean, I get it that it's appealing to sometimes to sellers, but I'm going, there's no way sellers, buyers, agents can be totally committed and totally financially make it work with 1% if you do any advertising. There's no way I could tell my client, well, if you go on a listing appointment, so this guy can do it for 1%, I go hire him. But you're never going to see him.
Yeah.
They're never going to advertise your property. They're going to put it in MLS. They're going to put a sign up and just pray it sells. And if that's what you want, that's great. But people, I think that if they want to get their lives moving on, if they're moving or whatever it is, you get what you pay for. And I think I'm not worried about it, because I just know of these guys that do it for the discounted fees, and they're always going to be out there. And for some reason, they always prey on Phoenix and Arizona because they think this is still the wild, wild west. I just look at it going, you know what, you want service, and especially if I'm dealing with a higher priced home, you don't want anybody just coming in here. You want people to be qualified.
That's true.
But you got to advertise it. You got to, and we spend about $6,000 a month in advertising on different deals, and that's the only way to do it. So for 1 point or 0.5%, they put and everybody, they look in all the internet sites. And when I do my class, I talk about Zillow. Zillow is an incredible marketing company. And when I look at what they do, 90% of the time I don't agree with their pricing, but I know the consumers that don't have access to MLS will look and see where they're at. I look and see where they're at because I know my client has that number in mind.
Right. Yep.
But when I go on my listing appointments and I tell these agents when I do my class, I get it that Zillow says this house is worth $900,000, and I know the client is, but what I try to tell the clients is, here are the comps. Here are the comps in your neighborhood. So I get it. You love that number, and I know you're going to find 10 agents that will tell you that your house is worth that. But here's the comps, and with those comps, the appraiser is going to use those comps. They're not going to use Zillow's number. So sometimes I get the list. Sometimes I may lose a listing that, and maybe in 2, 3, 4 months I'll get it back. But I'm not going to tell them a fictitious number to buy a listing. I'm going to say you got to look at comps. And the other thing that people don't pay a lot of attention to is days on market. Some of these homes are sitting there. I always tell the sellers, look, the first, we can start high, maybe the first 2 weeks. We can always come down. But if you stay in that number for too long, then it's just going to drag on, and all of a sudden advantage you for the first 2 or 3 weeks. Now it's going to be advantage buyer, and you're sitting with 100 days on market. Guess what? You've lost your advantage there, and you're still waiting for that. That person's not going to offer you what you're asking at 100 days. So, but it's a battle you're always going to have. I've had it for 27 years. I think it helps that, especially in my area, I can say, guys, I've sold, and what I also tell these agents, if you're going to go on a listing appointment, you got to know all the houses around you. You can't just all of a sudden say, okay, I'm going to list this house today. But if you don't know who lives here, I can tell everybody in my area who lives there, how many kids, anything about the area. And that really helps me, being lucky enough to be focused in one area. And these agents come in and go, here's what the house is worth. Well, how do you know? Because it's on a piece of paper. Did you see the house next door, around the block? No, I don't know anything about it, but I can look. Well, that's where I think I have an advantage. I go on all these tours. I know the houses. I know the neighborhoods, and know everybody.
I thought you were going to say that you stalk all of them on Facebook.
No, I you know what? I like to. I like to.
Being the social media guru.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Mr. AOL himself. It's funny because you and I talked about how I got recognized. I think it was a year ago as a number 5 social media whatever in the state, and I don't even know my passwords. I mean, and I go, how in the heck can I get? It's because my assistant is amazing, and it puts all this on Facebook. But if I get number 5, I mean, it doesn't say much for the other 4. I don't know. So
there we go.
They just wanted money from me.
There we go.
Give a plug.
Perfect. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Bobby, I live in the area here, 7th Street in Camelback, and I'll run the neighborhoods, and I see every sign, maybe every 1 to 2 sign, or every 10 signs I see, I'll see your listing, 1 or 2 of them out of the 10.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, and it takes time, but that's the thing. People think, well, I can just do this in 1 day, 1 week, but I've been doing it long enough and working it, and lucky enough, I've coached a lot of the kids in the area, and I was fortunate enough to be hired by parents whose kids I let them play. It was like you never know when that 20 years ago, you never let my son play, my daughter play, but I let everybody play, so sometimes they appreciate. So you never know.
What did you coach?
I coached actually my kids in everything. I coached them because I played college baseball. I coached them in baseball, softball. My daughter ended up doing Xavier volleyball and discus because his dad had no idea how to do that, so she escaped me. But I love coaching the kids. It was fun, and again, my whole thing is I hate to lose. Even one of my jokes I tell my class is we lost a t-ball game with my daughter years ago, and when 20 years, and I'm still mad that we lost the game. But if you're a competitor, it carries over from sports to the real world. So that's why I love having signs to do.
Well, if you ever have any signs that have black marker across them, that 480-818 number,
that's me.
Okay, I get it. You wouldn't be the first person that's done that, so I get that.
I do have one more question about mentorship.
Sure.
Right. So if there's an agent looking for a mentor, what's the best way to find one and approach one and say, hey, can you mentor me?
I think every company now is getting smart, because I know even HomeSmart, when I was a realty executives, a lot of them didn't put emphasis on. When I first started 20-something years ago, agents took you under their wing, but now they don't do it because they're all busy and they're downsizing their group. So I think I would say if you go with a larger company that's got a pretty good number of agents in there, they're all smart enough now to have their own mentorship program on board. So our company has that. Plus, there's a couple of agents in my office that I know are very good. They're not the best, haven't sold the most volume in the world, but they're good with people. And I think that's when I look at somebody and go, I think you're great. I don't do that because I don't have a lot of patience, and I wouldn't be. But there's some good. I think that you want to go with a company that can give you a mentor that you got to listen to them. I mean, it's I get it that they're going to give you, like I said, the advice that Ronnie Gilbert Mark always gave me as a mentee. I didn't always like it, but I knew it was the right thing because they're successful and somebody was there for them, and I try to do the same thing with other people. I will always, if somebody calls me or emails me, they're amazed that I will always pick up the phone and call them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's easy for one time here or there. But I think that's what we as veterans need to do, and don't act arrogant and not be there for people. But I just said, I think whatever company they go with,
Mm-hmm.
that needs to be a big key, is that they have the time and have a mentor program in place there.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that's great.
Perfect.
You know, you were just talking about some of the discount platforms or programs and things like that out there. A good example of one that just didn't even make it was Purple Bricks.
Right.
So
Right.
they went into several states.
Right.
They were big here. I mean, they were advertising
Right.
big here, right? But still didn't make
You know,
it.
when I look at, there's a lot of them that are out there. I mean, there's a lot of them that people say, well, I can, and I don't want to get into names because I'll get in trouble, but I'll buy your house for X. And they keep the number, let's just say 400,000 the number. We'll buy your house. We're going to show 400,000, but they're going to back off 15, 16%. So at the end of the day, you're going to net 64,000 less. And I'm going, why are you doing that? I mean, I get it. I mean, sometimes I get it if somebody's mom and dad pass away and you got infield fighting with siblings, and it's worth it. But on a real deal, I'm looking at going, these companies are not offering you retail, they're offering you wholesale because they know you're desperate.
Yeah.
And my point would be, hire us. We're going to get you more money. We're not going to discount. And they're not only are they discounting, they're discounting it for the inspections, but they're discounting it so the fees that they're charging are what they're going to be offering on the resale.
Yeah.
So you're paying for that, and it's like, don't be desperate. I mean, you want to get more money. This may be the last chance you have to sell a house. Again, I get the whole sibling deal with somebody passing away and that they live out of state. They don't want to have time to deal with that. But I just think it's crazy that people leave so much money on the table by hiring the discount places, and that's
absolutely.
that's their call. But that's not my deal. I mean, but
They're putting a premium on convenience.
Yes.
They
which
are.
is like, and I'm with you. I don't know why so many people would go that direction. Just for that convenience. But
you know, it just depends on their financial situation, and some of them go, you know what, maybe they're going through divorce and they don't want the hassle. And truthfully, when I do my divorces, it's kind of interesting dynamics because you have, like when I do all these things, you always have one spouse that loves you, one that hates your guts because they think that you're going to favor one or the other, which I don't do. So I think for some, it's like, you know what, I don't want to deal with you again. I don't like you. I don't like, not me, but the spouse. And they go, you know, it's just easier for us to be done. This is the last thing we have financially together. Maybe I'm leaving money on the table, but this gets rid of you, gets rid of me. And so, but I'm going, wow, but you're going to be paying, if you have kids, you're going to be paying a lot more money. I just think that you're leaving too much money on the table for those discount places.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Wow.
So what's you know what? We were going to talk about, because I've had this happen to me a few times. Loyalty?
Yeah.
Client loyalty?
Yeah.
Well, what you think is a client.
You know, it's funny when we said about it earlier, when my kids were going to this couple of different schools, I was a star realtor for 2 or 3 years when my kids were going there. As soon as you leave, another star realtor comes in. So it's funny. I subscribe to the Business Journal, and I always look at, they have the sales of all the real estate homes and every week that's from 400,000 up. For me, it's fun because number one, I get to learn, I get to see, even I could go on MLS and see what's been selling. But what really pisses me off, I see clients that I knew that just bought a house that SOB didn't hire me, and you know what's funny, that even when I sell a house, people go, well, are you going to give us a discount if we hire you as a buyer's agent? And I'll work with you, but I don't want you to feel obligated, because when they tell you that, 9 times out of 10, they just happen to go, God, I really apologize. I walked into an open house and they're offering to represent me on both sides and knock off the commission. And here's the biggest thing I tell people that you can understand kind of, but what I also talk about loyalty is, let's just say you're the are you a realtor, Joey?
Yes.
Okay, so let's just say your family likes you. I mean, I don't know. Hopefully your family likes you.
Yeah, they do.
But
They love me.
How could they not love you?
That's right.
Would you agree, Jeff, that this family? Anyway,
Yes.
let's go. I forgot what I was talking about. So your family, but let's say you're a brand new agent, and they go, okay, Joey, we love you, yada yada yada. But you're a brand new agent. Mom and dad just passed away. We got $1 million house. You don't have any experience. I know we feel like we're going to hire you, but you don't know what you're doing.
Sure.
And they hire somebody else. So here's what I tell agents in my class. If you know that you're on the bubble of getting hired by your own family, co-list with somebody. Get an agent who's an expert in that area. Now your family can't say no to you. Okay, I get it. You only get half, but I never was really good in math, but I know 50% is better than zero.
Yeah.
So take 50% and get the deal done. And then here's what I tell agents, that even if let's say you're a new agent and you bring me in and I help you get it sold, well, I feel like 50% to you, I never would have had if it wasn't for you, and you feel like I did my job. But at the end of the day, I'm going to let you have all the recognition for marketing. You say you've sold a house in the subdivision. So not only do you get 50% of a sale, but now you're getting to take advantage of, you can send postcards that I just sold this. And so, but people agents get greedy going, Joey's the only kid in the family that's a realtor. Well, but trust me, it's not just your siblings, but the siblings have spouses. Again, greed takes over. So that's one of the things that I think is
a great nugget.
And people, you know how I learned that? Because I made a mistake of when there's a big house I had in Biltmore. I used to coach this kid, and I had family I knew him very well, and they didn't hire me. They go, we just didn't feel like you knew this area. So I've learned, you learn from experiences, and that was one of my failures. But and one other thing, I don't know how we're doing on time.
No, we're good.
One other thing is, even one of my court deals I got was in Mesa, and again, people will laugh because do you know where Mesa is? And no disrespect to East Valley, but I don't really. But back then they didn't have all the freeways that took you out there. So I got an ex-professional baseball player, it was like $1.5 million house, and I go, this is great, $1.5 million times 3% is $45,000. I had 2 listing calls, both of them were like around 4:00 in the afternoon, which took me like 3 hours there and back. And I go, and they both pulled no-shows on me. And I'm going, okay, this is crazy. So what I did, I co-listed with an agent that in our company, because the Department of Real Estate frowns if you work with other companies sometimes. But anyway, with my own company, I picked up the best agent out there. I go, here's the deal. I'm going to give you 50%. We're going to co-list this house. I don't want any more sign calls. I don't want anybody to even know that don't even put me on the listing, but give me a referral fee of 50%. And she goes, oh my God, are you kidding? I said, no. And then at the end, it's your sale. I don't want anybody else calling me after closing. You were involved in this sale. I don't want anybody to know that I even know where Mesa was. And we sold it for like $1.3 million. It was like $36,000. I got 18. But I got, she would not have gotten it if it wasn't for me, and I wouldn't have got it if it wasn't for her. But she got credit. So time value, but that, and I said that the sibling deal is so critical.
That's
get 50%. So,
sure.
But you learn the hard way, and then again 2 trips out to Mesa, and I go, this is crazy. I don't know this area, and that's why it just helps to.
So whose signs go up?
I would only put hers.
Okay.
I did not want my sign anywhere because somebody was going to call me. I didn't want anybody to call me. Where's that? So no, I said, look, my sign came down.
Yeah.
Her sign went up. Her flyers had only her name on there. And again, we had a referral agreement. She paid me half, and I was nowhere in the list, and I was happy with that.
Wow.
I didn't care. So you learn from the hard way. So
Jeff, before we leave, you're going to take a picture of me and Bobby. I'm going to get that on my sign.
That's right. Bobby and I.
Bobby and I. That's right. I got to put Bobby first.
No. You can be. Hey, I'm on your show. You can delete all this stuff. I don't treat you right. So.
Are you going to start putting it at the bus stops?
Yeah.
Yes.
You already own that, right?
I am. You know what? And I kept trying to cancel it. I only did that because my daughter's friend who just started selling the signs, bus stop, hey, would you do? She actually called my wife and asked her if she would do it, and because she works for a company called Bumpkins that does baby products and stuff. She said no, but Bobby will do it. So I did it for a couple months, and it's funny. I don't know if it works or not, but it's right at Central Glendale, and there's probably 50,000 cars a day going by. People will drive mustaches, birthday hats, and probably flip the bird out a few times at me.
No.
But you know what? They see it, and so. It's all you can make fun of it all you
branding.
want. So,
no,
it is.
It is.
It may work. Some things work. Some things don't work.
Absolutely, branding. So if agents are out there today, and let's say inventory is super low,
right?
So what if they are having a hard, struggling this year, right?
Yeah.
What's one thing you could tell them that they need to do now?
I probably would. recommend they partner up with somebody. I mean, I think it's really hard. Even people that are veterans, they think, my ego, I've been doing this for 20 years and I don't want to work with somebody else. But you know what? Sometimes you're what you did 20 years ago, marketing. Because I get laughed at by AOL. I mean, people laugh at me if you want. That's fine. Just take the sales. But no, I don't. But and I know that I'm not a social media guy. But some of the people that are the greatest social media people don't know how to sell. So there's a trade-off. But I would just say, partner up with somebody. Find a good mentor. Even if you're a veteran, that's somebody that's good in your area. Because doing it alone is. Even as long as I've been doing this, there's nights that we've lost a deal, crashed, and you get frustrated, and it's the mood swings with your clients, and they like you when things are going great, when they don't, and sometimes I'm bad at this, and it's funny because Matt Widows, who's our owner of our company, has me on a 24-hour delay on replying to some emails because I have a tendency of saying the wrong thing sometimes. So he goes, think before you send out the email. So sometimes when the clients, I'll go, guys, you're mad, you're not getting showings, but your price is too high, whatever it may be. So, but I think for the individual agent, it's just really, you need to partner up. It's too hard being solo right now because you're only one, go with somebody, maybe it's a veteran or somebody that maybe that's, but the problem with partnering up is somebody you're comfortable working with, because I found I had a couple different partners, and they don't have the same work ethics I have. They're great people, but if I'm a 7-day-a-week person. Kathy, my assistant's a 7-day-a-week person. It's not easy to work with us. But if you're only going to be a 4-day-a-week person, you're not going to fit in with me because I'm going to call you crazy times a day. You're going to get some business from me, but so it's hard finding that compatibility of who to work with. So I guess I just have to be careful. Some people say I'm going to do it with my sibling. Family dynamics work together don't always work out, and they can make the family tougher. So absolutely. I think I would get somebody that you feel you can work with and try it.
And we have seen kind of a migration into more of a team concept.
Absolutely,
right?
Yep.
And I think that's going to continue.
I think it will. It's probably what they have to understand, and a lot of the team guys do a lot with the internet. They're getting leads generated from that. I can't work with a team because I don't like people, so I think that's kind of a hard deal, and they don't like me. But for some people, it's great. It's great because you can feed off. You have if I had to have a meeting every Monday morning at 9 o'clock with the team, I just couldn't do that. But for some people, it's great, the structure.
Right.
I know there's some great, like Walt Danley has a phenomenal team of 16 people. It works for them. It would be for me, but I think it's just really what your dynamics are made out of. Yeah. But I am seeing more of that. And I think it's smart because first of all, it covers vacation times. There's other people that are like with Kathy and I. We're a team because she's but she, not my necessarily equal partner. But you need somebody that's better that makes up for your weaknesses and you make up for their weaknesses. If both of you guys are the same, that to me seems like there's a clash there.
Sure.
So I think the team is, and I think Mark Moskowitz, my old mentor, was probably the first person to do that. But I know a lot of but here's what I would tell people. It's interesting on the team deal. When you have a team, you always have obviously the king or queen, is just whatever you want to do, and you have the 4, 5, or 6 people under. I know when I was with a team, we sold the team concept. Mark would get us the listing. I never would have gotten on my own when I first started, but he got lost for the 5-6 weeks when I learned how to do everything. Always showed up on payday. But here's my point: is what these clients have to realize. They didn't hire me. They hired Mark. They got stuck with me, but that's what happens with some of these team deals. I'm not saying the underlings, which kind of sounds weird, but if you're hiring Mr. A or Mrs. A, and you're getting 2 or 3 partners with them, that's not who you hire. You're never going to see the main guy again because now he's moving on to another listing. And so know that with the team concept, I get you're part of that deal, but the main person has nothing to do with your house, and that's why now I'm not with a team. I say I'm not with a team. You hired me, you get me, and I stole that from Jeff Paulette. But when you're with a team, you say hire a team, you get five minds.
All of
No, you
us,
don't,
yeah.
because they're all going each other's throats. You don't. So
Yeah.
it's not what it appears to be. And I know they do more.
Sure.
But it's just it's just whatever you feel is best for you.
All right.
But there's choices, which is kind of cool. You can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else you want to
Good stuff.
make sure the agents know or share with
No,
them?
I just
or
want to make sure I
any
can find my car when I get out of this
Okay.
parking lot here.
All
No,
right.
no, I just think,
We'll
you know
make
what? No, I think really the main thing is don't give up.
Yeah.
It's hard work, and it's, the schools, as I said, the schools are great to get you licensed, but line up with somebody that can help you, that makes up for what you don't know in the real world. Nothing beats the real world experiences versus the school stuff.
No, that's great. All right. Well, we're going to get in the ring. You ready?
There you go.
I don't know. I get nervous every year. The last time we did this, but okay. It's the same question.
Almost.
No.
Some of them.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
some
right.
of them.
Yeah.
Oh, a big shout out to Elisa Axelrod.
Yeah.
to the security
Absolutely.
title.
She's phenomenal. I've known
She's
her for a long
go-getter,
time.
huh?
She is a go-getter.
Yeah.
All right.
I still hear her voice.
Yeah,
Is she
yeah.
still talking?
I still do.
All right, here we go. What do you think the reason is that many agents are not successful?
They don't want to pay the dues. They don't want to work hard. They think it's going to come to them, and you got to go to that. So I
Yeah.
think that's probably they don't realize it's a 7-day-a-week job. It really is. It's not a
right.
Monday through Friday deal.
They started construction, it sounds
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, I thought maybe my time is up here. So okay,
I got construction
That is
going
not
on.
us hammering in the studio.
I thought it was
But,
all over. Okay.
Anyway.
I can take a hint.
What's the best advice that anyone's ever given you?
You know what's funny? Ronnie Gilbert, my old mentor, told me before, like when I hired assistant, he goes, only money. If it makes your life easier, pay people what they're worth. And like I watched other people that had assistants, and every other week they kept changing. You pay for good people. So
right.
I think that's it was the best advice, because you can have a life when you have good people around you.
Absolutely.
sense.
Absolutely. How about a book recommendation?
You asked me that last time, and I hate to
Are you
say
prepared this
I'm not.
time? No,
I'm not a
just
reader. I'm not a reader.
You
So
listen to Audible or anything?
no, you know what? It's no.
How about a podcast?
Well, you can let me answer this. You keep asking me questions.
Sorry.
No, I would tell you that I would tell you a great book, and I may even said this last time that I do not read. And I'm kind of embarrassed about that. I thought the Callaways did a great job on the book that they wrote, and it talked. I forgot what the name of the book was, but it was all about real life experiences, and I really respect Joe a lot. So I would say it was really good reading to learn about what they've gone through. And to me, I learned from other agents, and there's no better teachers than them. And the fact they dress alike and hold each other's hands all the time, but I think they something first. I don't know. Clients First is their book.
Clients
Okay.
First.
All right.
All right.
And we'll have you draw one more.
We need to try and get them on the show.
They're great. They will dress alike. They hold each other's hands. They really like each other, but it's amazing. Okay.
Can we use you
That's
as a
good.
referral?
You can. How in the hell am I going to read this? I don't have glasses.
Oh, here, I can read it if you want.
Okay. Who was your favorite singer or band in high school? That is a very easy question for me.
Okay.
So if you listen to my phone and you call my phone, it's Freebird. I am a Leonard Skinner freak. You want to call? Go ahead. Hang on.
Put it up against there.
Okay, let's see. Okay, you're going to see if I'm telling the truth or not. You know what? Hang on. I think I turned my phone off. So give me a second. I'll
All
put
right.
it on. But I am a diehard Leonard Skinner fan. I grew up in Atlanta. They were from Florida. I saw them all through my 20s. Sometimes I didn't even know I was there, but I was there. But and they came in town. They had their farewell tour here recently. I'm a freak for.
Yeah.
And I love Southern rock. Okay, go ahead and just call it.
And I have the right number, right? 602-376?
Yep.
All right. You ready?
Let's see. Uh-oh. Oh, you know what? It's forwarded to my assistant. So, so
She's going to pick up.
No. So she's
I
gonna
think she did.
She did. Yeah.
'Cause
hang on. Of course. So we're here. I got to release it. So she's gonna be happy I released the call. I forgot. So I'm really lying to you. It wasn't. First of all, my phone wasn't on, and then it's forwarded to my assistant. Okay.
She's going to think, one
Okay.
of those.
No. Okay.
She's gonna call back.
Let's try it again. I'm
here we go.
0 for 2 now. So am I being very impressive to you guys? I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
This is great.
Hang on. Okay. Hang on. Don't let me down.
You are number 5 in social
I
media.
know. Come on.
You want me to go?
Is it ringing?
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Yeah, go ahead.
Go? Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's go.
Oh, there we go.
So I see how you know I'm telling the truth. All right.
Yes. That's awesome.
Do I have to answer and say hello?
No.
No, that's good.
Okay.
Well,
I
you
declined
did
it.
say you answered phones.
I'm declining.
Oh, he
I knew it was you.
declined.
I'm declining
He declined
you.
a phone
No,
call.
Block it right now.
Yeah, but it's funny. I mean, I'd say Leonard
cool.
Skinner without question. Billy Joel,
right.
Elton John, but I'm
you
a
go.
Southern rock and roller through and through.
All right, man.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So agents do want to reach out to you directly about any opportunities at HomeSmart or anything.
Sure.
Do you want to share your info?
Sure. My phone number is 602-376-1341. And my email is Bob Lieb, Lieb, at AOL.com.
There
And you know what? I got to tell you something.
Really?
So let me tell you this. One other guy, I actually had lunch with him 2 days ago, not to name drop. Bill Gray, Arizona School of Real Estate.
Yep.
Him and I are the last two AOL. So he calls me AOL number 1. I call him AOL number 2. We make fun of each other. But there's about 10 of us probably that are still out there that still use it. So
Wow.
I know.
I was about to just tease you and say it's Bobby at AOL.com.
It is. Well, you knew that before. No, it is an AOL. All right.
That's awesome.
Well, thank you so much for being in
Thanks
here.
for having
This is
me.
great. This has been a lot of
fun.
fun.
Thank you.
A lot of great nuggets too.
Yes.
Sure, so-
Yeah. My favorite
Thanks,
nugget
guys.
is partnering up with someone.
Right.
Co-listing.
Yes.
Don't be greedy.
That's right. Awesome. Hey, agents, next time we will surprise you.
Yes.
A big surprise.
Adios.
Thanks,
See ya.
man.
That's great.